Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos and Abuja. A reminder of our main stories. NNPC denies non-remittance of $49.8 billion, says the CBN governor is unaware of procedures for transfer of funds. Supreme Court overturns conviction of PDP Deputy National Chairman Chief Bode George 3 years after serving jail term. President Jonathan attends funeral service of Solomon Lar in Jos, describes him as a selfless Nigerian, and former Commonwealth Secretary Emeka Anyaoku on the final day of lying in state for Nelson Mandela. A quick reminder to all our viewers that our top stories can be found on our website channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Of course, you can now interact with the Eyewitness feature on the Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions to share your reports, pictures, and videos. The Rivers State Police Command has acknowledged the receipt of the court order nullifying the takeover of the functions of the State House of Assembly by the National Assembly. The police also said that it will continue to barricade the Assembly complex because another faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly also said that it intended to sit today. Now, the police commander, Port Harcourt Town, Mr. Uche Chukwuma, who addressed 25 lawmakers who had returned to the Assembly complex, said the police is still barricading the complex so as to avert a clash between the two factions. Well, we take you live now to our Abuja studios. Bimbo Oloyede has stories coming out of the courts today. Hi, Bimbo.
Thanks, Ijoma. We begin with legal matters. The Supreme Court, sitting in Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, has reversed the conviction of the former Deputy National Chairman of the PDP, Chief Olabode George. The judges of the Apex Court, headed by Afolabi Fabiyi, in their judgment, ruled that the charges of contract splitting on which the EFCC arraigned and secured the conviction of the politician was unknown to the law of the land. The Apex Court ruled that the EFCC, which prosecuted Mr. George, did not sufficiently prove that the defendant had an intention to commit fraud at the Nigerian Ports Authority. Chief George and other board members of the NPA, where the politician was the chairman, were convicted and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment by Justice Oyewole of a Lagos High Court for contract splitting. The Supreme Court judgment is coming more than 3 years after the former Deputy National Chairman of the PDP served a 2-year jail term in Kirikiri Maximum Prison for contract splitting.
The Nigerian law does not criminalize disobedience or alleged disobedience to mere administrative circular. The foundation of the charge against the appellants was alleged disobedience to a mere circular, just guidelines. If they violated it, you punish them administratively. You do not proceed against them in the criminal courts and make a mess of their hard-earned reputation. What is even more, another ground is that there is a ground of splitting contracts. The lordship said there is no law which made that an offense too, as at the time they served on the board of the Nigeria Ports Authority. And the most important is that in all the counts, the prosecution alleged intention to defraud. In all the counts, they didn't prove that intention to defraud, and they sought to say that it was not necessary. But the lordship said, no, once you allege the intention to defraud, you must prove it. Having not proved it, they are entitled to be discharged and acquitted.
Also, a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, has been freed by an Abuja High Court over charges of abusing his power during his tenure as minister. Mr. El-Rufai, who had been on trial since 2008, was charged under the Corrupt and Other Related Offences Act 2000 for allegedly using his ministerial position to revoke a plot of land originally owned by the Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PLC, and re-awarding it to his wife, Hadiza Ahmed. In acquitting the former minister, the court has also exonerated him of any criminal charges. And now to politics. The Kogi State wing of the People's Democratic Party National Youth Vanguard has endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. The state coordinator of the PDP National Youth Vanguard, Oladipo Bayode, told journalists that the youths in Kogi State have watched with keen interest President Jonathan's efforts in service delivery to the electorate.
Youth from the 21 local government area of the state gather in this hall under one voice to throw their support and endorse President Goodluck Jonathan and Governor Idris Wada of Kogi State to run come 2015.
PDP is original.
The youths who passed a vote of confidence in President Jonathan said there is no better choice.
We therefore make bold to say that if policies is about service to the electorate, then our party, the PDP, has lived up to expectation, particularly under President Goodluck Jonathan, in the provision of social services for the Nigerian people. For those of us in Kogi State, we have felt and are still feeling the presence of the federal government, in addition to the visionary and dynamic leadership of our leader and dear governor, Captain Idris Wada.
The group also affirms that the PDP come 2015 will give support to the president and Captain Idris Wada.
We are pledging our undiluted support, unalloyed support for both Mr. President and Captain Idris Wada come 2015.
Now that the Youth Vanguard has shown clearly where its support lies, what remains to be seen is how they will effectively mobilize the people to vote in the incoming general elections.
Nigeria would have been a better place if all the leaders of this country had the kind of spirit and heart of Solomon Lar. Those were the words of President Goodluck Jonathan at the funeral service for the former chairman of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party and former governor of Plateau State. President Jonathan noted that unlike many leaders today who are into politics to amass wealth, the founding chairman of the PDP believed in the emancipation of the people. Others present at the event included the family of the late politician led by his wife Mary, former head of state General Yakubu Gowon, chairman Board of Trustees of the PDP, and some state governors.
Solomon Lar, the founding chairman of PDP. We heard from the biography that was read and the other remarks, so I don't want to borrow your ears to repeat what you already know. But clearly, from the time I started national politics, all my interactions with Solomon Lar shows Solomon Lar as somebody who has his people, who has the country at heart. He's not a selfish man. He did not move into politics because he wanted to amass wealth. He moved into politics because he really believed in emancipating the people. And because that is why he is generally called emancipator. Reading through his biography clearly reflects his life. There are some people that are dead. Biographies are created that don't really reflect the character you know. But in the case of Solomon Lar, you see that his biography reflects the person we know. As an elder of the party, he constantly come to me to advise on one thing or the other, to make suggestions that will improve not just the PDP, but will improve and country.
As the call for a national dialogue continues to generate debate, the federal government is holding on to the notion that the move is in the best interest of the nation. Speaking during an event in Lagos, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Pius Anyim, says it's the duty of all Nigerians to find a common voice to protect the country's democracy.
What started out as a book launch by seasoned journalist Funke Egbemode in Lagos turned out to be a gathering of political heavyweights. The book, titled Conversations with My Country, in attendance, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senators, and Governors.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Aminu Waziri Tambuwal.
First, it was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, who took the lead in commenting on the importance of the book to the nation.
I've had the privilege of reading some of those writings and articles, and I'm sure one of the best ways of having them for the records is by what she has done, what she has done, to compile them in the book form for all of us to have not only for keep, but for us to be reading once in a while to refresh our minds on some of them that we might have read, and for those coming behind us to share from our thoughts and thinking on some of the key and fundamental issues that have been confronting this country.
Next, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ayim Pius Ayim, followed up by promoting the Presidency's quest for a national dialogue.
The Common National Conference is one key opportunity for us as a nation to reevaluate ourselves as a people and resolve once more on what the rules are taking out to the as a people. It is my belief that better things we will get it right.
Perhaps the highlight of the event was the friendly political banter between two neighbors, Edo and Delta. Beyond the comedy that ensued is the underlying truth that the importance of such a book cannot be swept aside if the nation intends to hold on to its unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, the book is unveiled around the world.
Oluwa Shonibare, reporting for Channels Television News.
That's it from Abuja. Ijoma, back to you in Lagos.
Live there from the nation's capital, Abuja. When the news at 10 returns, Access Bank holds leadership conference here in Lagos. That's coming up when we return. So do join us again.